Okay, everyone, just going to start in a moment. Thank you for tuning in. Just going to wait for past. Okay, everyone, just going to start in a moment. Thank you for tuning in. All right, brilliant. So thank you for watching this live session with me. So it is 1:30 p.m. the 11th of June 2024. All right, so starting on the dollar index to begin with, we can see that we've moved very nicely out of this area, this discount zone, taking out that previous monthly low. So if we go to the monthly time frame, that is right there. All right, so took out that previous monthly low. You can see there PML, that's obviously just a abbreviation of that. So going down into the daily time frame, what we can see is that daily demand has been used very nicely, and we've actually broken structure on the 4-hour time frame on this. Okay, so we've got the high, the low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. First initial sign of a bullish momentum shift, because we've had that break of structure right there. The body closure, so therefore this is the new 4-hour bullish leg from this low to this high, or wherever the high decides to print. If it goes higher, then I'll just drag this up, but for now I can just put that on there. And we want to be waiting for price to reach a discount to potentially continue higher. So let's have a look at areas in which we can react from. Looking left. Okay, so in this leg here, so let's go to the daily. Obviously got a huge daily imbalance right there that we can see. On the 4-hour, it's more or less the same. You've got that huge imbalance there. And then on the hourly, so obviously that was news, so that's why we've had that big surge to the upside on dollar, because we had positive news come out, okay, for the US dollar. But I'm not going to leave that on there. Why am I not going to leave that on there? Because it's too large of an area for my liking, so I'm just going to take that off and let price do its thing, because like I've said, it could just continue higher. So we don't know what's going to happen just yet. But from what this is telling me, we have broken 4-hour bullish structure. We're coming out of this daily discount zone. This high could be next on the cards if we are going to continue bullish, and then that high there, because remember on the monthly time frame we've got that area up there, and we've also got monthly supply right there as well. Okay, but I do like this monthly imbalance just there. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at on the dollar. Let's just reset the chart back into the daily. So the analysis is playing out well. You know, we've marked on this structure for quite some time now, and you can see price is slowly but surely developing in the anticipated way. Okay, because you know we had these areas marked on, and as soon as we had that high there, we were looking at that low to the high reaching a discount. Price has done that, and price has now moved away and broke that sort of internal structure point on the 4-hour, as we've just noted. Okay, just there, so 4-hour break. So with that in mind, let's go to the euro dollar, because if this is bullish, euro dollar could be bearish. Okay, because dollar basically rules Euro USD. So it's essentially the index for euro dollar. Inverted, that is. Okay. So because this is broken bullish structure on the dollar, and because, you know, from a structural standpoint, from a technical analysis standpoint, this high could potentially be taken, understanding that and transferring it to the US dollar cross pairs could therefore mean that now this low could be vulnerable. Again, what you can see there is my daily bearish structure. So we've got high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Prices come into premium and broke that 4-hour low right there. Okay, that's the 4-hour structure point, the most recent structure point before we made the high. Okay, so all of this red structure points, these red dots, that was our 4-hour bullish market structure, because we were putting in higher highs and higher lows, that we can see. And now look what's happened. We've broke that low now. So this is the first sign that price could want to go bearish. Okay, the first sign that price could want to go bearish. So what we'd need to see for a confirmation of bearish play would be that we have a pullback into premium prices and then we have another lower low. Whereas for now, we've just had one lower low. So we've just done this. We've just broken down. We could do that. So a confirmation would be we break that, which we've done, lower high, and then another lower low. So what we're doing now is the first sign of that in play. So with that in mind, what I'm going to do is mark on this daily supply candle, like so. The bullish candle before the bearish move there. Just double checking something on the daily. We had a imbalance right there that was filled, and an imbalance right there that was filled as well. Like I've said, we could continue higher. The reason why we could is because we have come into a discount. But with that being said, I'm just relating it to the dollar. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. I mean, on the dollar index, what we could say is with that, I mean, yes, we've come into premium of this, excuse me, of this now. But what have we also done? We've just broken 4-hour bullish structure. So, you know, with that all in mind, we could continue falling on the euro dollar for now. And like I say, that low could be vulnerable, 1.06. On the 4-hour time frame, we do have a fairly large imbalance right there, which could be reached. Okay, which could be reached. But I'm just going to leave that daily candle on there. I do believe one of our buy positions has just been stopped out on GJ, so I'll update that in a moment. Let's talk about GU for a moment. So GU is fairly similar in terms of where we are. Obviously, we're high up in the leg on GU. What GU is also doing is building up liquidity. Very, very clear to see. Okay. So we've got a low there, a low there, a low there, a low there, and we've just created another low. So this is all liquidity, and where's it resting above? This daily imbalance. Okay, so if we go to the daily a moment, we can see that's the imbalance in question right there. We've also got another one right below, which I'm not going to mark on because I'll just mark it on as and when we need it. But I'm aware it's there. You can see that right there. But I do like the fact that we've broken that high right there on the daily time frame as well. So we're putting in bullish structure on a daily perspective. So now it sort of bears the question of, are we going to break that high? And if we do that, do we need to achieve a discount of this before continuing higher? So we could see short-term bearish play on GU, which would also align with what we're saying on dollar. If we're saying that it's going to continue up potentially, then that could mean that this could come down. And if that play does happen on the dollar index, then this low could potentially be taken. But I don't see that happening just because of where we're coming out of this monthly imbalance. So back to the monthly, you can see that. Look at last month's bullish candle closure. Also with a 3-pin pattern. 1, 2, 3. Bullish. And let's not forget as well, we've got that area right there. The monthly imbalance resting above that liquidity right there. Above that high right there. So that comes in at 1.31666. Okay. So if we do have a pullback, then that could be on the cards right there, that area. Okay, so let's look at GJ. So to recap then, on the monthly, we are within this monthly imbalance, bearish imbalance. Weekly, also within a weekly bearish imbalance as well. Last week we spiked down into this weekly imbalance with a nice reaction, although we did still close a bearish week. So still bearish on the close of the week last week. And on the daily time frame, we tapped into that daily imbalance right there fairly nicely. So what we've done as well is this high was created, but then we closed above it. Okay, we closed above it. What I would potentially look for on this, it's quite a long shot actually, but now I'm looking at this in a rational point of view, is we have a daily imbalance right there. Now the reason why I like that daily imbalance is because that low is still following daily bullish structure. So what I mean by that is, let me mark on the structure points of the daily time frame. So using the highlighter tool, I'm going to go daily. So just starting from this low here, we had the low, the high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Again, the reason why we can count that as a higher high is because the market closed above that high right there. So with that in mind, price could be drawn into there potentially around the price of 193. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these off now. So from the current market price, that's nearly 700 pips away. 700 pips. So if we go down into the 4-hour time frame, the reason why I'm now going to go down into 4 hours, because what we can see on a 4-hour perspective is bearish price action. So let me just put that aside, that structure point. So focusing on the red structure points now. We had the high, we had the low, lower high, lower low. Okay, if I just replay that a moment. At this point in time, let's say the market was here in live time. We don't know that this is going to put in 4-hour bearish structure. The moment that low is taken and we closed below, that's when we can count that as bearish 4-hour structure. Okay. So the moment that candle there closed below, Then this became 4-hour bearish structure. So price, although price has come back up, it is starting to make sense now as well. Now I'm looking at it in a different light, which is sometimes good to just clear everything off your chart sometimes. Now what I'm seeing is price has come back into a lower high region, or in other words, price has come back into a premium of that 4-hour bearish leg. Very, very simple. And the nice thing about that is as well, we've also got liquidity there. Well, all there, in fact, actually. So price has been building up, building up, building up. Again, paying attention to the aggressiveness of the bearish candles here, because, and this even goes back to the initial point in time that we reacted out of this weekly imbalance. If we remember, it moved over 700 pips within a day, had a retracement, again, pretty much the same thing the next day or following couple of days or next week. So paying attention to the red candles, look how big they are in comparison to the bullishness. Again, even here, big bearish candle, huge bearish candle there. Price trickles back up, wicks that high right there, and we closed above it on a daily, as we mentioned. Had that pullback. Obviously, what that pullback didn't do is put in a new higher high. So price came into a premium, remained below that high right there, had a huge sell-off right there in 1 4-hour candle, retrace, huge sell-off once more. So price is doing the same thing by the looks of it. Price is trickling back to the upside. We are in 4-hour bearish premium prices. So with all of that in mind, this low could be next, and then essentially that daily imbalance. So this is what I was getting at. That's why I like that daily imbalance, because we've already put in 4-hour bearish structure for us to get there, because we've done this. Okay, so from a 1-hour standpoint, let's just double check. Okay, so in 12 minutes, so following the system that I'm trading with GJ, I think it's going to be very, very, very useful to put my experience into play as well, because what I'm trading at the moment, is, to bear in mind, is very, very mechanical. Okay, which means that it's rule-based, yes, but there's no sort of discretion from a trader standpoint. I mean, the buys that we took earlier on today, my trader mind said, okay, we're actually buying quite high up, but the mechanical edge said to buy. Okay, so it's not necessarily that one is right or wrong, but I think a bit of discretion could be used very, very well with this system. So we'll have to see with that. So what I'm trying to sort of articulate here is the fact that what price has done, or potentially doing in 11 minutes time, we'll soon see, is price would have then created this bearish 1-hour imbalance, which then hopefully we can get a retest of this, form our confirmations, and then go short. Because that low could be a phenomenal target. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at on GJ. That is what I'm looking at. So let's just do that right there. So it does make sense. It really, really does make sense, because of where we're coming out of, weekly imbalance, and what we've done on a 4-hour perspective. Okay. What we also did as well is we built liquidity right here. So I'm just going to show you this, which I spotted yesterday. So we actually put in equal highs right there. So when price came down, came back up, price provided a beautiful 1 hour imbalance right there, and this was the position that actually hit TP, funnily enough. So I was aware that that was a target, and I was also aware that we had a 1 hour imbalance resting above that right there, look. So we had equal highs, a 1 hour imbalance resting above equal highs. We had an impulse push here, price came down. So if I just go over the entry model on that. So my entry on this specific trade, coming out of this 1 hour imbalance, was that candle right there. So the moment we closed above that last lower high, those two bodies lower highs, that was the entry, and then stop was 10 pips below the imbalance. So 32 pips. Okay. And it was a simple 1 to 3 fixed RR multiple, which ended up hitting TP. I did close a little bit early at a 2.8 risk to reward. So we ended up closing profit there this morning. So if you just pay attention to the bottom of the screen there, around 7 a.m. And if you check Discord, that's when I said that I'm closing this position at 2.8, and then I closed the other one, which was took from down the bottom at 2.3%. So that was took from this 1 hour imbalance right there. Okay. So it could be time for a reversal on this. It really, really could. If that is the case, so be it. I'm going to trade with the flow of the market. I'm going to stick to the system. And hopefully the results should, start to flourish, and we can end the month very positive. Okay. That wraps this live session up. Just want to say thank you for everyone that tuned in live. If you do have any questions on anything that I've talked about in this video, then please feel free to drop me a message in the Discord, where I'll answer your questions. And yeah, so I'll see you in this afternoon's live session, the second one. That's at 3:30 p.m. So thank you everybody for watching. Take care, trade safe, and keep an eye out for the trade alerts if we do enter any more trades. Obviously, we're going to put them in there for you to follow along. So thank you once again, and I'll see you in this afternoon's live session number 2. Thank you. Bye-bye.